let's begin with the money show today. And a lot of older Gen Zs and millennials are living under some sort of an anxiety of not being able to save enough. A lot of research reports show that for those, this anxiety is even higher who live paycheck to paycheck. A lot of them still rely on their parents to secure their financial future. In one way, we see a story where Gen Zs, millennials are getting investment savvy, and yet there is a disconnect and, in fact, fear of not being able to do it right or enough. So let's understand this dichotomy and with regards to older Gen Zs and millennials. I have with me Vinayak Sapre, author, public speaker, and financial coach. Vinayak, good evening and welcome to the show. So,
Thank you so much.
Vinayak, what is this contrast in the situation, when it comes to investments via Gen Zs or millennials? Because we saw post-pandemic, there was a pickup in terms of investment trends, understanding, even financial literacy that we were witnessing. But over here, what the research reports are also saying that Gen Zs also fear not being able to, secure themselves financially in the long run is concerned. A lot of them do invest, do try putting money in investment instruments, maybe to make a quick buck, but are still not sure when it comes to their financial stability. What's the kind of mindset and specific fear that we are talking about?
Yeah, thank you, Kavita, for having me on the show. Very, very pertinent question today because since I also have been interacting with many Gen Zs and millennials, the the major issue, what I have realized after talking to these people is there are too much of noise there is and too much of information, and then it becomes difficult to process that information. For example, you said that some of them are there to make quick buck. Post pandemic, especially during the pandemic, in the first year, a lot of people made a lot of money, and that made them uh, kind of think that they are the champions of the market. But over a period of time, they realized. And secondly, there is a peer pressure to show off that we are doing well. And at the same time, there is a lot of anxiety that there are too many layoffs happening across all the industries. Machines are replacing the jobs. So many times I come across people, the Gen Zs, that they are at two extremes. On one side, they spend a lot. They take loans. They buy phones on EMIs, uh, and take a lot of personal loan as well. On the other hand, they want to make quick buck, as you rightly said, because the primary reason for that is uh, the too much of information. In fact, when I was checking with few of these Gen Zs, mostly they said that it becomes very, very difficult to process that information which is happening, which is coming their way, and there is too much of noise. uh, for example, upcoming recession, inflation, personal life choices, etc.
So, Vinayak, now what is the kind of strategy? Because see, we are not only talking about the fear of future, we are also talking about the mindset that they have for money, which is very important. And this is the kind of Gen Z, especially if I have to talk about the money mindset that they built now is going to impact their future. Okay, so it is very important to understand the difference between money making and having an investment strategy for all your life goals, or maybe having a financial plan to live a financially free life, a financially independent life. So, what are the important lessons that they should be considering? Their parents, can be very helpful in creating a financially aware or literate mindset. What happens is, this is the kind of age, where Gen Zs, especially Gen Zs, they want to explore things on their own, they want to understand things on their own, and they want to experiment as well. So how much ever we say that experimenting, exploring on your own is right, but then you also need some kind of hand holding, because these are those formative years, Vinayak. So how can one go ahead and how can one hand hold them?
Lovely question, I must say, because important thing is the advice, the counseling which happens to them, and that plays a very important role, because the kind of life they are living, it's very, very fast. Things around them are changing very fast, so they need to cope up with that. At the same time, when it comes to investing, they need to realize that instant gratification is not the best thing to happen in case of investing. So to deal with, on one side, they need to cope up with the fast pace of life. At the same time, when it comes to investing, people need to understand, they made to need it's a requirement that they should be made to understand that instant gratification doesn't help in creating long term wealth. That's where the delayed gratification helps, and the counseling, the hand holding of these kids is very, very important. And that's where the role of their parents, the person who is visiting as a financial advisor to their house, or uh, people in the industry, if they come from financial services, nothing like it, they can come to these Gen Zs and can become a good guiding force for these people. So important thing is that they need to make understand that financial freedom is important, because the moment you talk about retirement, these guys just stay away from the topic of retirement, because they are also in hurry. So they don't want to work till 60. So if you talk about working till 60, it doesn't buy. They don't buy this point. Secondly, if you talk about retirement and why they need to if you talk about financial freedom and why they need to achieve it ASAP, as in through investment on regular investment basis, need to we need to make them understand that instant gratification doesn't work. You will come across people on one side, they invest in high risk products like crypto and all. On the other side, they prefer to invest in FDs. So there is no middle path for them. And in fact, that path is the solution which needs to be told to them.
Talk about millennials, because they are the age group who are, to a larger extent, or as compared to Gen Zs at least, are exposed to money making. They are also exposed to having financial goals, or maybe planning their life ahead. But the kind of insecurity or anxiety that they have is about, the current environment that we are witnessing globally, also in India, in few specific sectors where, people are given pink slips, and AIs are replacing their jobs, or they feel that they are not enough, they need to have second income. Moonlighting is also a trend which people are following for various reasons. How much you earn, okay, that is not enough. That kind of a mindset is not enough for them. They don't know how much is enough for them to earn. At the same time, how much is enough for them to save for their future and their family's future, because millennials we're talking about, they have financial responsibilities which might be at the peak right now, and they've got to sustain everything and also grow in life. So several anxiety based triggers, but then is the solution just the right kind of financial planning? Is that the only solution that they have?
A right kind of financial planning solution, and at the same time, as you said initially, the hand holding, because it's about temperament. Kavita, we all know that people who are sitting on a decent wealth today, it's primarily because of their temperament, how they have behaved with their money. And that's the lesson then these people need to be told, that if your temperament is correct, you will end up reaching to your goal. The only thing is that instant gratification you need to stay away from instant gratification or the noise. And at the same time, one of the millennials I spoke to, and she said, sir, when sorry the one of the Gen Z's I spoke to, and she said that she comes from a smaller town, and she said that initially when I used to spend in cash, I used to spend less. These days, when we do a lot of digital payments, towards the end of the month, we realize that, oh, I have spent so much of money, because we don't realize during the month. Secondly, one equation, if they keep in their mind, is income minus savings is equal to expenses. It means whatever they generate, a certain amount needed to be kept
Exactly. So,
aside
so in a nutshell,
for
you've
investment.
got to be mindful about your expenses. Be
Very,
mindful
very
about
mindful
your
about.
income. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much, Vinayak, for being on the show and helping our viewers with this today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.